Hello, my name is Matthew, and I just read Two Friends by Guy de Maupassant and translated by Sandra Smith. And it's a wartime story. It's senseless and tragic, and what makes it sad is that the story, for a moment, gives you a glimmer of hope. And I'll read the first paragraph. So it's two friends. Paris was besieged, starving, on the verge of death. There were hardly any sparrows on the rooftops, and even the rats had deserted the sewers. People ate anything they could find. And I'll read the footnote because it gives historical context. So the story is set when Paris was besieged by the invading Prussians in the last week of September 1870 and finally surrendered in the January of 1871. So that's the setting, and there's we meet the first character, and he's just walking on the outskirts of the city, now in a military outfit. And as he's walking along, he runs into an old friend who is also now in the military. And it turns out they were old fishing buddies. And they shake hands and they're very happy to see each other. And they only really knew each other through fishing. And it was the type of thing where they would just get together, go out, and enjoy the experience without too much chit chat. And it even says on certain days they didn't even speak. Sometimes they would chat a little, but they got along extremely well without saying a word because they shared the exact same tastes and feelings. And then at one point, one of them says, "Isn't it wonderful here?" And the other one says, "I can't think of nothing better." So this is a little memory of their shared fishing experiences. Here's Daphne, in case you missed her. Well, now it's wartime, and they're walking along, and they stop into a cafe, and they have a glass of absinthe, and then they walk out. And then one of them says, "Well, how about another one?" So they go into another cafe. And it says, when they came out of this cafe, they were both quite drunk. And the one says, "How about it?" And the response is, "Do you mean go fishing? Where are we going to go?" And he says, we'll go to our secret spot. I'll go to my supervisor and I'll ask if we can go past the outpost, and we'll just fish for the day. So they go to their supervisor, and he's kind of amused with this little bit of whimsy and allows them to go. So they both run off in separate directions, collect their fishing gear, meet up again, go to the outpost, and then sneak off to their fishing spot. And while they're fishing, they can tell that the Prussians they're near, and they've decided to take the risk. It's also worth pointing out that by the time they get to their fishing spot, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, which means that these two got themselves drunk before 11 o'clock in the morning, which is funny to me. But now they're fishing. It's wartime. They're surrounded by the enemy, and they just have a moment of enjoyment. They're catching fish. One catches a fish, the other one catches a fish. They have a little basket, silvery little gudgeons, I think they're called. And then there's a moment of fear that runs up the backs of each of them. And they know what it is. It's enemy soldiers that have found them, and they're caught, bound, and dragged to an enemy fort or tent or something. They're brought to the enemy leader, whatever military ranking, and the colonel, let's call him, says, "I see you two are fishing, but as far as I'm concerned, you're spies. You were coming to kill me, and this was your cover story. So I'm going to shoot you both dead right now. But you did get past the outpost, which means they gave you a code. If you give me the code, I'll let you go, and no one will know. If you don't, you will be dead in 5 minutes." So each of our friends says nothing. The enemy colonel pulls one to the side and says, "Just whisper in my ear." And the one does not. He goes to the other one, pulls him aside. "Just tell me the password, your friend doesn't have to know, and you won't die." And he does not. The two friends shake hands, and they're shot dead on the spot. They're bound, they have rocks tied to their feet, and they're thrown in the water. Our enemy soldier picks up their catch, their bag of fish, throws it to one of his subordinates, and says, "Fry these up for me," and has a chilling last line. "Throw these little fish into a frying pan for me right away while they're still alive. They'll be delicious." Then he picked up his pipe and continued to smoke. Everything that just transpired was matter of course. He's back to smoking his pipe. Just tragic and deeply sad. And this is a story that I remembered. I for some reason I even remembered the last line with that pipe. It just struck such a chord with me. It's a very good story and sad. And I think that moment of enjoyment makes it sadder. Just two friends went off fishing like the good old days. But they weren't in the good old days. It was wartime in Paris, and they died for it. So, Two Friends by Guy de Maupassant. Let me know if you've read it. Leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching.